It's estimated that over 700,000 people apply for uni every year in the UK. I've decided to document the whole process in this video. So let's start with step 1, open days. I just want to start by saying I'm not like a pro YouTuber or anything, obviously, so yeah, the lighting is a bit crap and things like that, and the quality's a bit crap, and I'm in my pyjamas. Okay, step 1, open days. So first I researched a little bit, not as much as I should have done, into a few different unis. I want to study graphic design, so that's what I was looking at, obviously. My clear favourite by a long way was Brighton, so I then looked at open days and realised I'd missed most of the open days for most unis. They start so early. Some of them are in like October. You've just started like second year of college and you're already going to open days? I will just quickly say I am on a gap year. I say gap year like this because I'm not like travelling or anything, I'm just not in education for a year. Mostly for health reasons, but it's a little bit more than that, but mostly for health reasons. I needed to just get healthy because there's no point going to uni and spending a year not being able to do anything. So I did some research and I found Brighton was my clear favourite. Oh my god, how am I losing my voice? So luckily I hadn't missed the open day for Brighton, so I went to that. I loved everything other than the fact it was a little bit unorganised, but other than that everything was amazing. The city is just lovely. It was chucking it down all day, but I still had a great time, and yeah, it's a really nice uni and I so want to go there. Everyone was so lovely as well. And before visiting Brighton uni, I had really no idea what I was expecting. And I'm from Suffolk, so we had to take quite a long, not that long of a drive, like 3 hours? I honestly can't remember. And it worked out quite well because a family friend of ours who lives really near Brighton, them and their whole family were on holiday. So they let us stay in their house overnight, which is like so generous of them. So we drove down and we had just like the afternoon, just dinner at their house, slept there, and then the next day up nice and early, got the train into Brighton because there are a few stops away, and then had the open day. And yeah, so it was amazing, really great. If you go to Brighton open day, just a little tip, when you go to like the tours for like the halls and campus tours and things like that, really, really, really follow the leader of that tour, because we lost ours and we ended up on a different tour that I didn't want to go on. It was still like a useful tour, but I didn't want to be on it. Someone else also managed to be on that tour and they didn't want to be on it either. So yeah. But then I also booked onto Norwich open day because that's, I think, like the nearest decent one. There's a uni in my town and no. No. So I went to Norwich open day for about an hour, if that. I just was not feeling it. The city is so much less vibrant and less fun, and it's just a bit and then the uni was just a bit underwhelming. And something that might work for you, it could be a learning style that works perfectly for you but does not work for me, is like we do loads of competitions and these really structured, strict briefs, which was what Norwich seemed to be really promoting. And I prefer Brighton's approach, where it's like, hey, yeah, come sit in a beanbag and spread your work out on the floor and just be creative and experiment, and that is much more my style. And it's fine if you're one or the other, like, all good. That's why they have different teaching styles in different unis. But I sort of sat through an hour of a talk at Norwich, realised it was not for me, did some shopping around the city, some Christmas shopping, and went home. But I'm not annoyed about that because I found out what I like and don't like in a uni, which then helped me make my other choices. So I've also chose Bristol and Loughborough as my options. Scary because I've never actually been there, I've never looked around the campuses or the unis or anything, so bit scary. But from just looking through as much as I could online, they seemed like the right kind of teaching styles and environments for me. And I can't change it now. I didn't sleep, I was up all night, but I slept with this in my hair from yesterday. Yeah, I woke up, haven't done any getting ready or makeup or getting dressed or anything, and I'm filming. I had some breakfast. Beans on toast and fried eggs. So, step 2 was the UCAS application. This bit, much more stressful than the open days. Open days were fun and learning all sorts of things, and yeah, it was a bit stressful when you're like having to write down all of this stuff. I should show you all the stuff I got from the open days. I will do that now. So at Brighton and Norwich open days, they both gave you a canvas bag, so I assume that's something all unis do on open days. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know where the one from Norwich went, but this is the one from Brighton. Top tip, bring a pen and a notebook, a full-ass notebook, not just a piece of paper. I didn't. It might seem obvious to you, but I didn't bring one, and that was annoying. So, I have a whole notebook now. There you go. Dedicated to all things to do with uni, like anything to do with like deadlines and stuff for when I have to apply for stuff and submit stuff and portfolios and all this. Just like shout out to anyone who recognises this because it's from Paper Gang subscription box. I'm obsessed. I have to show you. It's so gorgeous. It's too gorgeous. So at Brighton, they gave in the little bag, sorry for this background noise, they give you this, it doesn't look quite this messed up when you first get it, this little folder, and then there's just like a little flap to keep all your little notes in and stuff. I used the folder to write on because I had nothing to write on, because I'm a dum-dum. But they also gave you these like tiny sticky notepads with these like lines, little crossy line things, I don't know, all over them. And I just ended up using that as my notebook. And then a load of leaflets, a big booklet about the open day, which is semi-helpful to be honest. And they sent me one on the post as well, which had all my timetables for the day, which was really helpful, and I was planning out, you know, what I was going to do and when. And they give you a free coffee. Like, that's just so sweet. I don't drink coffee. I gave it to my mum. Also, most open days say bring only one guest, like one parent or friend or whoever's coming with you. And a lot of people brought more than that, and then there's not enough room in the talks and people have to stand up or people can't get in because you're there with your mum and your dad and your brother Steve and you're taking up 4 seats and then poor old some other person can't come in and watch the talk. It's just, or just at least like get the other 2, whichever one you like least, to go and have that free coffee while you're in that talk. So pencil and a pen. Again, I can't remember what Norwich gave me, but probably something similar. And then a map, which is very useful because my phone did die and run out of 4G trying to find my way around Brighton. And a travel guide as well. They like clearly were looking out for us. I printed out a whole plan. I can't show you it because it's got some personal details on it. But I printed out a whole plan, like minute by minute, of what was happening in the day. Very useful. And they give you a lot of stuff like this. So this is Global's Crazy Golf Glow in the Dark. Wow. That actually sounds quite fun. Oh, wow. But yeah, they give you a lot of like little leaflets and things that obviously companies are paying to pop in there. Free for £10 laser tag sort of coupon thing. And then these are just the little like free drink for the day. Another one. And I think this is the last thing in there is a little badge with the logo. Which I didn't notice till very recently actually because it's very small. I'm so thankful that Brighton gave us all this and the pen and things, because what would I have done without that? I had a lot of notes, which I will go through with yous in a minute. UCAS applications. I'm going to get my laptop up and make sure I don't miss anything off while I'm going through what you need to do. So when you first make your UCAS account, as far as I can remember, the lighting's just going to keep changing while I click things. This is not good lighting. Professional. What was... Anyway, I'm just going to move that for a minute because that lighting is bothering me. When you first make your account on UCAS, as far as I can remember, it's like you just put in your details, your email address, and then you get given a UCAS ID, which is very important that you write that down as many places as you can. Like, write that on your bedroom wall, write that inside your pillowcase, write that on the back of your phone. Engrave it into your arm. Like, it's not that level important, you can recover it, but it's going to be annoying. So just try not to lose that. And you'll also have a username and a password, so they'll be what you use to just log in. It's a teeny bit annoying figuring out how you log in at first. So you click sign in, then you click students, and you're like, I'm not a student, but you're like, gonna be. And then you click on undergraduate if that's what you're going for, and then you click on apply, even if you're like, I already applied, or, you know. And then you log in, and you have to try and remember your login. I've already sent off my application, so it's going to come up slightly different for me, so it might not come up exactly the same, but it should do. So first you have to fill in like an about you section. So you've got your title, so Miss, your gender, your first name, surname. You can fill in a preferred name as well, a preferred first name if you've got, like, I don't know, a nickname, or maybe if you have your legal name but you're transgender, so you've got a different name that you actually go by. Previous surname at 16th birthday, not relevant to most people, but that's something you have to fill in. Your postal address, and then you have to tick something to say whether or not your postal address is the same as your residential address or something. So yeah, just general details about you and whether or not you're a UK citizen. So I have no experience with applying as a non-UK citizen, so this is not the video for you really, because if you're a non-UK citizen, because I have no advice for you. It's complicated enough as it is. I feel sorry for you applying if you're a non-UK citizen. Then there's a whole bunch of like reference numbers and things that I had no need to fill in because they weren't relevant for me. Student support fee code, not relevant for me. A lot of it you'll be like, why don't I have this code, why don't I have this number? If it's not relevant or you don't have that, that's fine. You don't need to have that. It's not going to affect anything. Whether or not you want to receive information by email and all this and blah blah blah, and consenting to all of that. And you can give a nominated access, so I'm pretty sure, I haven't done this so I can't say for definite, but I'm pretty sure that's like so you can allow a parent to log in on your behalf or something. Then there's a whole section about disabilities. I don't know quite the depths of that section because I don't have any disabilities. Additional information, so just like your race, your sexual orientation, all of that. Then there's a section called activities in preparation for higher education. I did not fill that in. Maybe that's dumb of me, but I didn't have anything to put in there. So I guess it would have been more dumb of me to fill it in because I would have been lying. So don't stress about that because I haven't filled it in, so obviously there's some people who don't, because me. Then there's just a whole load more general questions. Have you ever been in care, duration in care? Questions about your parents' education. I guess maybe some unis want people who are from a like uneducated background. Then you just have to tick that you've read the details about student finance. I skim read it. Exciting bit, your choices. And again, remember, this might not all come up in the same order, but choices. And now I'm a bit stressed about this, but I have read on the UCAS website, it doesn't matter what order you put the choices in on UCAS. You can't change them once you filled them in, but it does not matter. Because that you don't actually make your choices of like, this is my first choice and second choice and that, until you've been made offers. That's what UCAS says, correct me if I'm wrong. And it will look kind of complicated, you've got to fill in like a bunch of like the code for the uni and all this and that, but it will come up, it'll be easy, it'll be fine. Education, so I filled in my college education and then all my GCSEs. And that's it for that. Employment, so I have 2 previous jobs. I've filled in my current job, and then I was really confused because I was like, well, there's no option to put like still working there, because when you put like from working there from X to X, there was no option like still working there, but you just don't fill in the from bit 2. You don't fill in the 2, if that makes sense. This lighting is bothering me. I was looking at the lens earlier and now I'm looking at my face because the lighting, like, it's like when you tell a ghost story and you light a torch up underneath your face and yeah. And then your personal statement, which some people find real nerve-wracking. I was a bit stressed at first. I used the UCAS personal statement outline, guideline, but do not write in the boxes they give you. Okay, open a Word document, have the guideline next to it, or even like on a whole separate thing, and write it up yourself. And if you think, well, everything I wrote for this question is going to be pretty much the same as for this question, except this, just add that little bit in over that, you know, just, you don't have to stick to their exact guideline. If you do, it'll probably look pretty crap. Like, just let the writing flow naturally. Don't make it look like you just filled in the guideline boxes and then just copy pasted that straight into a Word document or whatever. That's not gonna look good. And also my personal statement, I have an issue where I write too much. So my personal statement was just under the word count, but then it was over the line count. So there is, after you've filled it all in, you press preview or something like that, you press like save and preview, and it will come up with a line count, and it can't be more than, I think, 47 lines. And mine was 48, so I managed to sort that out without ruining my statement, but that was real stressful, because I was like, oh yeah, I've just managed to get it all written in under the word count limit, but then it was like, nah. So my paragraphs that I wrote in my personal statement are, I'm applying for graphic design because, and then why it's important to me to study it, and then things I'm experienced with, so like my skills and stuff. So I've put like Photoshop and things like this. I'm just looking down because I'm just reading it. Drawing and painting, and I also express myself through writing and doing this and this, and show an understanding of the subject. So I've put like, I understand that graphic design is always changing and evolving with new technologies, semicolon. I'm good at adapting to and learning about new technology, and I look forward to experimenting with these. And just make it sound like you know what you're on about. And then I've put about some work experience, so I have some paintings up on the walls of a local cafe. Work experience. The cafe owner, even if it was not like a formal meeting with them, the cafe owner is a person you've worked with professionally, so I can write about that as work experience. And also I have an Instagram page for my art. I mention that because that could equally just be some work experience. And then my biggest piece of work experience, so at the point of writing my personal statement, because since then I've opened my own online shop, but that was after I wrote all this and applied. Kind of annoying, wish I could have got that in there, but oh well. So the biggest piece of work experience I have is my local green fair. I did a poster for them, I did a selfie board for them, and I did a whole bunch of photography for them. And it was like really like relaxed and non like formal and everything like that. Like we literally just met up in like one of their dining rooms and stuff. Like it wasn't like this super like formal corporate thing, but it still counts as working with a client. I didn't get paid or anything. And like my mum was one of the organisers, but I don't have to mention that in my statement. Like, and I was still, you know, working with a client and working with a different group of people and all this and that. So I've put like, this has taught me about interacting with a client and working to their brief and incorporating their ideas. I enjoyed working with a diverse group of people, real world experience, and then that linked to like environmental issues. So I've put that I am vegetarian and that I enjoy cycling, and then I put I also enjoy, and then some other things, because your personal statement has to be personal, you know? It's not just like something a robot could write, it's got to be about your personality. And then I wrote about college, my experience with college. College was not the best for me. My artwork was pretty good, if I do say so myself. I made some quite cool stuff. But then I have written a little bit about that in my personal statement, so don't be afraid to say, college didn't go that well for me, here's why I expect uni will be better. Here's why I think uni will be a better environment for me, you know? And then I did my conclusion, so I put when I complete this degree, yada yada yada, I plan this and this, and what the course will help me to do in the future. So just really showing an understanding of why you need to be on this course. And then the most stressful bit for me, and it might not be for you, but the most stressful bit for me was the reference. And it was no one's fault. My manager did the reference for me. She was lovely about all of it. Like, it was not her fault. It just didn't want to go properly. Nothing wanted to work for me. So I contacted my college lecturer asking for her to do my reference, and she did not want to. And that's fine, I guess. So I got my manager from work to do it, which you can do. So especially if you're like a mature student who you haven't just left college or you're not at college and you don't have someone to write that for you, you can get your employer to do it. It's supposed to be not just a statement on like your abilities in that field, it can be a statement based more on your work ethic or your personality and things like that. I had it all sent off to my work and it didn't send properly. I realised I hadn't clicked send to referee. I think it's referee. Referer? I think it's referee, but that sounds too much like a thing for sports. But I'm pretty sure I hadn't clicked like send to referee, so you can fill it all in and press save. That won't send it to them. There's like a little bit that says send to them, and I didn't see that for some reason. So then I sent it to them. Then they can't open it on the work computer because it's like a private network that blocks like anything that could be dangerous, because obviously there's a lot of like data protection and like employee information and money and things that could be interfered with, so they can't just let any old website open up on their computers, which is understandable but still very annoying. And so they couldn't open UCAS on the work computers. So then I had to get my manager's personal email address, send it off to her personal email. She had to open it at home and write it up at home, which like she's so lovely for doing all that, so thank you. And the day before it had to be all sent off, the reference was finished and I read through all my details thoroughly. I did have to change a couple things, so please read through your details thoroughly before sending it off. Also, like, something might have changed. You could have filled in half of it in like November and be sending it off in January. You might have got a new phone number. But yeah, just read through all your details and things, and then I sent it off. You have to pay £25 to send it off, so be prepared for that. It's a £25 flat fee, so no matter how many unis you actually apply for, £25 flat fee. That may change for next year, so don't completely quote me on that. Also, I've just realised I look like a blob in this, but I'm so cosy. But, like, I have arms. Just in case, like, I just look like a total blob. Okay, so, as I was saying, and then the reference, and then the application is sent off. And sorry I keep doing this, it's probably really hurting your ears, and I will stop. And then that bit is done. Then you move on to the research phase. So after applying, I decided to do my research on Bristol and Loughborough and found out, yes, I definitely am glad with the choices I've made, but maybe do some more research before making those choices. And then I did some research into so I knew about a little bit about all of this from the open days. They talk to you about these sorts of things. So go to like the accommodation talk and the finance talks and things like that at open days. So helpful. But if you're going to like 5 different open days, don't go to the same talks for all of them, because they'll be the same pretty much. I don't see much variation is going to be in them. So I started doing some research. So I was looking at my weekly budget. So for like shopping, kind of difficult for me. I'm vegetarian. That doesn't make it difficult. People think being a vegetarian is expensive. That's the least of my worries. I'm dairy and gluten intolerant. Like, kind of severely. So I have to have like special gluten-free bread and special chocolate spread and special pasta. And supermarkets like to really annoy you by charging you 4 times as much for everything. So that's fun. So I've been looking at a lot of soup because that's cheaper. Sainsbury's do a lot of soup, like tomato and leek or something, I don't know, that's like 50p a tin or can or whatever you want to call it, and that has no gluten or dairy, and it's just a bunch of vegetables and a little bit of rubbish at the end of the ingredients. So I've been looking a lot at my weekly budget. Also, like, I was like budgeting for like everything, so I'm looking at, I don't know, toilet cleaner and kitchen paper, and I was looking at loo rolls and I was like, I have not the foggiest idea how much toilet paper I use in a week. And I was like trying to budget it, and I'm Googling how much toilet paper does the average person use in a week, because I've got no idea. So yeah, budgeting, and then I was looking at, I didn't realise just how much money buying everything for uni was going to cost. I've been looking at it, I've been watching a lot of videos on recommendations of what you need to get. It's going to cost about £300. I was originally at £400, I managed to narrow it down. I started using this website, obviously not sponsored, but let me just check and make sure I don't say the wrong website. It is called adwish.com. That's ADD and then the word wish, all one word, like adwish.com, and it's real good. So I made one called Uni, and it has all the things like the duvet I want to get, and like the, I don't know, the full length mirror I want to get, the rug I want to get, all like the cheapest ones I could find, all the best ones that I could find, and I add them all. And then if I'm thinking, oh, I've just thought about, I haven't checked, I don't know, Wilko. I've obviously checked Wilko. But, oh, I haven't checked Wilko. Maybe I could get a cheaper sieve from Wilko than IKEA. They don't have any sieves at IKEA, I've checked. And then you'll be like, oh, the sieve from Wilko is £1.50. How much was the one I wanted from IKEA? And then you just go on your wish list thing, find the one from IKEA. Well, that was £1.75. And then so you delete the one from IKEA, pop in the one from Wilko, and then gradually you find cheaper and cheaper stuff, and it brings that price down and down. Originally, I was looking at 400 quid. Now it's 300 quid, which is still like a big saving. I want to try and get it all gradually, not just first week of September, like just scream and buy everything. I've also got a wish list for my weekly shop. Near Brighton, there's an Aldi and a Sainsbury's. I'm hoping so badly to get into Brighton. So I based it all on that, just because you got to base it on one of them. This is just all theoretical at this point. But I looked at Sainsbury's and Aldi's because they're both within like a 10-minute walk of the halls I would be at if I got into Brighton. And so I just looked at stuff from Aldi and Sainsbury's. I made a wish list and compared the prices and things. So hard for me to shop at Aldi for anything other than like a can of sweet corn, because I can't get my bread there, I can't get my pasta there, I can't get like anything from there because it all has to be special. I've been doing a lot of research into that, a lot of IKEA, a lot of Dunelm Mill and Wilko, a lot of YouTube videos as research, so finding out things I just never really thought about, like get a doorstop so your door can be open during Freshers Week so you can get to know everyone easier, and get slippers because your kitchen floor will be sticky. Just so many things I didn't realise I was going to need to buy, like I just hadn't thought about it, because I'm assuming I'll be in halls, whichever uni I'm at, I assume I'll be at halls, so there'll be a kitchen and like my bedroom and that, but you have to buy like the duvet and everything, which I guess makes sense, but I just hadn't thought about that. I was like, yeah, I'll have to buy a duvet cover, but like the duvet itself, and like a mattress protector, like mattress topper to make the mattress not horrible and springy, and so many things. And then the next bit of my research was rereading all my notes from open days, the one open day. I did have some notes from the one at Norwich. I don't even know where they are. I didn't need them because I didn't like it. I barely even went to one talk. My notes, not in the file, they are the file. Funding and finance, I reread my notes about that. So if you're not aware, I'll quickly explain it. You have a student loan, the one that's known as just the student loan, which will usually be £9,250 a year. You never see that, never goes into your bank account, goes straight to the uni, and that is just for your tuition fees. Then you have your maintenance loan, and this is to cover your accommodation and your like food shop. It will not cover your accommodation and food shop. Just, it won't. You take into account the earnings of your parents. So if you live with both parents, it's a bit complicated if you live with one and like they're separated, but I haven't looked into that because I haven't had the need to. If you live with both parents, you add together their earnings, and then I'm not sure, but I think if you have like an adult sibling, you might have to add in their earnings. I'm not sure, again, doesn't apply to me, haven't looked into it. So you add together your mum and dad's earnings, or just your parents' earnings, and then you get your maintenance loan from that. So if your parents are earning lots, you get less maintenance loan. Yeah, we're not going to go into how dumb that is and how the system requires you to rely on your parents even though you're an adult. You could be like 20 years old and you can't work because you'll be a full-time student and you don't get enough maintenance loan because your parents earn a lot of money, but you shouldn't have to rely on your parents. We're not going to go into that. That's a whole separate situation. But I think I slightly misunderstood the whole table. So it's like if your parents are earning 35k, then you get £7,884. If they're earning 40k, you get £7,225. That's per year, obviously. Per month, yes. And so I thought if it's like over X amount, you just get this. But it's like if your parents are on 36k combined, then it's not just the 35k number or the 40k number, it's somewhere in between. And I don't know why, but I didn't realise that. I thought it was just one or the other. But no, it's like somewhere in between. It's like a grey zone, not just like black and white. And you have to apply for the loans every year. One thing that was mentioned was working for the uni, being like a student ambassador. That can pay quite well, like £10 an hour, like yes please. And your student finance doesn't start for a couple of weeks. Right, yeah, that was about your maintenance loan. So these are just really brief notes, so I'm having to try and like remember what I meant when I wrote them. So when you first start, your money for your maintenance loan might not come into your account for like a couple of weeks. So you have to save up some cash ready. Apply for your maintenance loan by May. That's so soon. So soon. And once you, this isn't due your parents anymore, once you are making £30,000 per year, right, you have to be making a certain amount to even start paying back your student loan. So it's not similar to a lot of other countries where you just start paying it back as soon as you finish. You have to be making a decent amount to start paying it back. Most people will never finish paying back their student loans. When you're making 30k a year, you pay back £26 per month. That's really like quite good. So I have not many issues with student loans. The only thing is the maintenance loans need to be higher. They just need to be. I would be happy to pay that back when I want a slightly lower wage, and start paying that back sooner, but get a bit more, because you shouldn't be having to like work and have a part-time job when you're in full-time education trying to get that degree. And you only pay back your student loans for 30 years. And then they just gave us a bunch of websites to look at. The Brighton website, because this was the talk at Brighton, so they obviously told us to look on their website. Gov.uk, I don't know if that's a website or if I've just written that wrong. Funding Clinic and Money Saving Expert, and I think that's all that's written on this. Yes, very professional. So that was all to do with funding and finance. Accommodation, on my little notepad. Accommodation, so Phoenix Brewery Halls in Brighton is where I'm hoping to be this September. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. Touch some more wood. Fingers crossed. Toes crossed. And it costs £157 per week. £157 a week. Don't comment on my slow ass maths, right? That's £628 a month. £628 a month. I said that too fast. So then there is 6 to 8 people per flat in halls. So if we say there's 8 people, that's £5,000 a month that they get. I mean, I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to £5,000 a month per flat. Also, you need money for a security deposit, which they didn't mention in the talk, so... but yeah, they get £5,000 a month per flat. And like, yeah, they have a cleaner that comes in and does the communal spaces, and you get like a room that all the flats share that has like a pool table in it, but £5,000 a month for a flat. Every eligible student on first year at Brighton gets offered halls. That's like, it sounded like a mnemonic, but that's just a sentence. I'm not sure about other unis, but I know more about Brighton because that's the open day I went to. But the types of accommodation are halls, houses, private rent or student homes, and there's like uni homes and uni lets that are like through the uni, and then other ones that are just like privately done and stuff. It's a bit confusing, to be honest. You have to apply for your accommodation by June, and it must be your firm choice, so I guess that's like your first choice, to get the accommodation. When you get made an offer, you have to respond within 3 days. Applications for accommodation open in March. The bedrooms have locks. That is something I asked because I was a bit concerned. Receive offer once you're in. I don't even know what that note means. You receive an offer for accommodation once you've got a place to study there. That's what that means. You also, at the Brighton one in particular, again, can't comment on other unis, you get access to a gym, you get £5,000 of contents insurance, your bills are covered, so like Wi-Fi, water, electric, all covered. Something about accommodation is you can't stick stuff to the walls. Apparently most accommodation comes with a corkboard to attach things to, but you can't stick anything to the walls. People really recommend command strips, but I ain't paying out £6 for 2 strips to put on the wall. Or washi tape. 1 strip of washi tape, just put a picture on the wall, make a little photo frame out of washi tape, peels right off. All the rooms at Brighton Phoenix Brewery Halls are en suite, so yay, because I don't like the idea of sharing a bathroom. I'm fine with sharing the kitchen and the living space and all of that, but just my bathroom is my bathroom. And 3 to 8 students per flat. I have also heard 6 to 8, so I don't know. And it says on here £138 to £163 a week at halls. That can depend on which type of halls you're in, whether you're all catered. They do catered halls. I mean, I've heard of everything now. 75% of all halls at Brighton are en suite. Again, can't comment on other unis. My voice went really weird there. I had a look around the halls and it was quite nice, to be honest. Like, it weren't that bad. You're on a 39-week tenancy, if tenancy is the right word, contract. So you're paying for 39 weeks of the year. So you're not paying £157 for 52 weeks of the year. You're not there 52 weeks of the year. When I was originally working things out for finances, I was like £157 a week and timing that by 52. And I was like, that's so much more than the maintenance loan I'll get. And I was getting really stressed. But no, calm down. The uni homes are from £138 a week and they're on a 48 to 50 week contract. The ones managed by the uni have the bills covered, but the private ones don't always. And they have a £250 deposit. Oh, and then this was like pros and cons of halls. Halls is more lively, whereas a house would be more quiet, which I thought, oh, I prefer a house then, but I think actually I'm going to throw myself into it. I want to go in halls, I want to socialise, that's the word my brain couldn't think of. And there's also private halls, more expensive, just slightly nicer room. Is really not worth all that money. And then private 1-bedroom flats are a thing you could get. There are Facebook groups to find housemates, so like if you didn't get halls in time, like apply for halls in time, or if you some reason didn't get offered halls, there are Facebook groups to try and find housemates. And something a lot of people recommend is as soon as you know who you're going to be in halls with, find them on Facebook or I don't know, WhatsApp, I don't know, and try and figure out like who's bringing the toaster, who's bringing the kettle, who's bringing tea towels, because if there's 8 of you and you all bring a kettle and you all bring a toaster, that's going to be a busy kitchen. That's going to have a lot of stuff in it. So the next bit, and I'm going to put here on the screen where you can skip to if this doesn't interest you, is portfolio. This is going to be real quick, little just reading some of my notes. It depends on which uni you're applying to, because from experience so far, the portfolio I need to send to Bristol is very different to the portfolio I need to send to Brighton. So really, really, really look into it on their website. Email them if you have any questions, because it's so important you get this right. So Brighton have said that information on what sort of portfolio you need to give them is on the Studying Here section of their website. It'll be an online portfolio, but at the interview you'll need a physical portfolio, 15 to 20 pages. And it says on here UCAS will send you the info for uploading it, but I'm quite sure that's wrong, because everything else has said that Brighton will, and the little account I made on the Brighton student website said it will. We're done talking about portfolios, so welcome back, hi. So when you apply, and obviously might not be the same for all unis, I'm going to say this a lot in this video, from my experience so far, and I've only applied to 3, it's not been the same for a single one. So when I applied and I sent off my application, I got an email from Brighton. These will not come through instantly, don't panic if you don't get one. I got an email from all of them, but I got my email from Brighton. It said here's a username, and I think it gave me a password, and a link, and I logged into this thing, and then it was like, right, now create a new username and password, write this down, which I did obviously. And then this is how Brighton will contact you, request a portfolio, request interview, all that sort of thing. Bristol sent me, here's your username, never sent me the password. I phoned up, I'm like, where's the password? I don't understand, I can't log in. And they were like, yeah, that's our bad, I don't know how that happened, you didn't get given a password. All got sorted very quickly, is all fine now. So now I have a thing where I can send them my portfolio. Loughborough didn't send me any kind of login, so I'm hoping that's not an error. I'm hoping it seems like they just don't have anything that I need to do at this point. But yeah, something to be aware of, check your emails. So interview, talk about areas of interest, bring photos and your work and paintings and videos, sketchbooks, notebooks of ideas, tell them what artists inspire you. I've got a whole load more stuff, but I don't need to read all of this to you. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. Interviews will be between February and April. They'll take you on a tour. It'll be about 20 minutes. This is all for the Brighton one, but I can assume it'll be the same for all of them. And for the Brighton one, portfolio will form the basis of the interview. Sorry about my fringe, by the way. But a lot of unis seem to do it differently. In some unis, there'll be other people watching you in your interview, other interviewees watching you. Sometimes you'll be interviewed by a group, sometimes you'll be interviewed by an individual, depends on the unit. Show a passion and your aspirations and your work experience and contextual knowledge. That's all of the notes on there. I did not sleep last night. I have one more thing to go through with you lot here. Now, my notebook. Again, gorgeous. Just look at it, it's just so pretty. So what I've started doing at the front is I'll write down the names. So this works for art courses and probably similar courses to that, but might not be what you need to do for other ones. But the name of an artist, their if they've got Instagram or Twitter. A lot of them don't because they did. A few words to describe their work, which I put in a bright colour. So if I'm looking for an artist who does something modern, or I'm looking for it's just easier to find that artist while I'm flicking through the pages. And then I've put their date of birth and their death if applicable, and their location, just to give me some context for their work. And then some of their most famous pieces, or the pieces I find most interesting, just something I can talk about the artist, not just the name of an artist. I can be like, oh yeah, Jessica Walsh, and they'll be like, what do you like about her? And I'll go, done a lot of that, because I want a lot to talk about in interviews, and there's a lot of different art styles I might need to talk about. And then working from the back, what I've done is I've made a page for each uni. I cannot show you this, personal details, but I've made a page that says UWE Bristol, and then it says username and password, and it has the date my portfolio has to be sent into them. And then the same for Brighton, username and password, and then just a page that just says Loughborough because I have nothing to write yet. Interview talking points. All of these are things that I have been rehearsing and practicing answering for my interviews. So many things. Important dates, so when you have to apply for finance, when you have to apply for halls, when you have to apply for tuition loan. Not quite sure if that's the same as just your general student finance, because I wasn't sure if that was just the maintenance loan. It's all a bit confusing. And when interviews are, February to April. Whole page about money, about budget and all of this. Basically, it's going to be impossible apply to halls as early as March and apply as late as June. And then I have pages about the individual unis that I'm applying to, and I put why UWE Bristol, why Brighton, why Loughborough, and I've made a whole bunch of points specific to that uni, really specifically about that uni, so I can talk about those points in my interviews. And that's all I've got so far in this book, but it's just really handy to have it all in one place, and to feel like I'm really starting to cover everything that could come up in an interview. I'm talking way too fast today. Also, my fringe does come down to here, but I woke up and didn't do anything to my hair. And I'm keeping anything and everything to do with uni in this bag, and I hang it on my door frame. Door frame? Door handle. So something I've been looking at while budgeting, so we're back to budgeting, is this is just an example, a great example because it's right there and I didn't have to get up and go downstairs. Ignore that it's scribbled on, that's just to say that it's mine. This, I drink like 5 of these a week and they're 85p. That is around £4 a week. Can't be asked to do the maths. So instead of getting 5 of these a week, what I'll do at uni is I'll get 2 plain orange juices a week, and that's less than £1. No matter what shop you go to, you can get plain orange juice for like 40p for a litre, and it won't be the best, but neither's my money. What? So yeah, I'm gonna have to be mostly drinking water and then like just hot chocolate and a bit of fruit juice. Also, I drink rice milk at home because that's what my mum buys, but the only thing I'm going to use it for when I'm at uni is putting it on cereal, putting it in pancakes and hot chocolates, and you don't really taste the milk that much, so cheap soy milk will do me fine. Just as if I haven't made this long enough, I'm going to show you. Okay, I don't believe that any of my personal details are on the screen right now. It's not the best website, I'm not going to lie, but this is the website. I'm just going to bring my camera down a little bit. Okay, this is going to be a situation. Me trying to like backwardsly use my laptop. This is the screen that you get. It's not a good website, like I said. Like, I mean, it's a great website. I mean, it's not a good layout, like image-wise and stuff, graphic design-wise. God, this is weird. I'm upside down. And then you have here all your different wish lists. I accidentally made one just called My Wish List that I didn't mean to make. Don't know how to delete it. And so I've got one called Uni and then one called My Wish List, which I put grocery list and it wouldn't save. So it's not the most incredible website, I'll admit that. But the Uni wish list, that is just things I need to buy originally, like my duvet covers and stuff. Because I can't take the ones I have currently because I have a king size duvet on a double bed. And when I go to uni, I want to have a double duvet on a single bed. And a king size would swamp a single bed so much. So yeah, this is all of the things and little images next to it and the prices and links to take you directly to it. So if I found a pink towel, I don't know, a pink towel, I'd like a green towel, but I couldn't find any cheap ones. If I found a pink towel cheaper than £4, then I could just delete that one, add in a new pink towel from wherever it was, price, the picture, the link, all of that jazz. Nice and easy. So that has actually been insanely helpful. Also, I've been watching a lot of uni hauls, as in HAULS, not halls like where you live, and like advice videos and stuff, and I'll just quickly go through a few that I recommend for you. So I'm just scrolling through my watch history right now on YouTube, and I will point out any of the good ones. There are a lot. Uni Essentials You Shouldn't Forget and How to Budget at University by Alice Thorpe, both very good. Freshers Week and Uni Worries Q&A by Natalie Collins is great. Emily Rose has a lot of... Isn't that the Exorcist girl's name? Anyway, Emily Rose has a lot of good videos for like uni stuff, like first year uni room tour, ultimate uni freshers guide, a whole lot of stuff. And Beauty Spectrum, she has so many great videos about uni, like just so many. Moving into Uni Homeware Haul by Tamsin Lena was good. Amy Claire, one word, Amy Claire, has a lot of quite good ones. There's just so many. There's a whole section of just watching Beauty Spectrum's videos. Oh, this is a really good one. What you don't need to take to uni, reacting to the title then goes off, but by Eve Bennett. She made a video of all the things she bought for uni, and then a year later she said which items she did and actually didn't need. Really good. 20 Things You Need to Get to for Uni by Lucy Wood, that was a good one. Don't Forget These Items When Packing for Uni by Darren Adetosoye. I'll write it on the screen because I don't want to butcher her name. And then there's just so many, like, everything I'm taking to uni hauls, HAULS. But also they're taking it to uni hauls, so Talita Hill, she has a good one. Amy Claire again. Eve Bennett, that's the one. This is her first video, so then she reacts to it, so you might want to watch the first one first. And Tasha Loves Beauty, all one word. She has a good video. There's another Emily Rose video. Selena Oze, she has some good ones. Ooh, Natalie Collins, she has some really good ones. They're primarily female, the people who make these videos. Hell's Bells, I'll write it down. She has quite a good, like, just nice, friendly video of what to pack for uni. Amelia Jane, she has a good one. She looks a lot like someone I went to high school with, but she's not her. I think I'm done going on ease with information for today, but I'm going to be filming the whole process, any interviews I go to. Obviously I won't film the interview, but the before, the after, all of that. Talking you through the whole process. It's going to be a long video. And then if I get into uni, I'll then have to make a whole nother video. Hi, yes, I am filming this on my webcam of my laptop. And I do have my hair all tied up, all crazy. But I got in to a uni. So, it is now 13th of February. I should know that, as Valentine's tomorrow. It's now the 13th of February, and yesterday I got in to a uni. So all my choices were turning me down. I don't know if this is in the video, but I added 2 more choices because I didn't realise you can add up to 5. So when they all started turning me down, I was like, I'm just going to add some just in case. Glad I did. And so I got in, and now I'm going to Lincoln. I'm very excited, and because I had started applying for foundation year courses, so 1 year foundation courses, in case I didn't get in for a 3-year degree course. This angle is not doing good stuff for my chin. But the course I'm in at Lincoln is the graphic design 3-year, like, normal university one, but then I'm gonna have to do like a little bit extra in the first year, and then as long as I pass all of that and do good on all of that, then I'll just do this normal 2nd and 3rd year. So I'm very happy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to do another one about applying for finance, about applying for accommodation, all of the rest of it. Everything that comes next is going to be in the next one. So thank you for watching. I'm stroking my cat, by the way. She's adorable. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in part 2, where I will be doing the process of applying for the money and the accommodation and buying all the bits I need and all the rather less interesting stuff, but still, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I didn't even have to go for an interview, so now also I need to go and actually visit the uni because I've never been there. So if I can, I'll try and video a tiny bit of that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye. I just wanted to also add, I got turned down by my other 4 options, so Lincoln is definitely the one I'm going to. And I got an unconditional offer, so that means that I'm just in. If you get a conditional offer, I can't speak today, that means that it depends on, like, the grades you get when you finish college or something like that. Like, there's things that could cause you not to actually get the offer. But as long as you get the grades, a conditional offer is still going to be fine. But I got an unconditional one, which I'm so excited about. I'm so happy. Bye. One more quick thing. I found another thing I need to quickly say before the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys really quickly my portfolio, but I would not use that to base yours on because I don't think it's amazing, and a couple of the unis did say that it could do with some improving, but I just want to show it and get everything into this video, okay? Bye.